All right, I think we are live, and it's a good day today. It's a Monday, which is crazy. It's been a crazy week, and hopefully everybody's doing pretty well out there. I've had a lot of friends, unfortunately, and family members, unfortunately, get the COVID going around recently, the Omicron variant. So that's kind of been dodging bullets with that. I'm not active. I don't really go very many places at all. So I think that's the only reason why I've been lucky for the last 2.5 years. Knock on any wood, veneer, whatever you can find. But yeah, I'm just thankful that off today and thought, I got really lucky with the recent delivery, and I was looking around for better prices, and that's one thing I wanted to talk a little bit about today. That it definitely pays doing a little bit of homework when you're looking for particular drams, because one that it might be going for like $725, you might be able to find for $300, which is a huge difference when it comes to looking down some of these whiskeys. And this is one of these that I was referring to, the Bunnahabhain 25. I've been looking for quite some time. I've been very, very happy with all the Bunnahabhain releases that I've had over the years, pretty much. The Sturdy Dare is kind of, it's their entry in a NAS bottle, but it's not it's not horrible or anything. It's just not my typical, I like the 12 to me is like the if I'm gonna do like a daily sipper type thing, which I don't anymore because health reasons. I'm trying not to get diabetes, of course, when I'm before I hit 50. But let's just say I try to, keep it to a minimum as much as I possibly can. But if I did drink on a more regular basis, and especially due to the price, man, it would be more, the when I having 12, because I mean I do love the 18. It's really getting hard to find, as you guys probably well know already, and the price has gone pretty way up, fairly way up. I'd say I remember when it was like 120 ish, and now you're lucky to find it 150, 155, if at all. And but if you're not afraid to do a little extra digging online, you can find some pretty decent deals if they ship to your state. And I know that's when it gets really frustrating for some of you guys out there. But hopefully you've got, a way. Hopefully maybe some of you guys work from different states, and if your work doesn't mind you receiving something on occasion, like this, which I know how that can look to some people. But I would think that if you're doing it, on a very nonchalant, very rare basis. And obviously, this is not the type of alcohol you're buying to, guzzle down. You're buying it to savor forever, as much as you can. That's the reason why I'm thinking they wouldn't be too hard on you, but it all also depends on what field you work in. I know, and all that good stuff. Hey, Malt, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I didn't know if anybody was going to be able to hop on and at least say hello and have a couple of drams with me. Are you? Do you have to work today? Are you off for the Juneteenth, or are you traveling? What are you up to, man? It's been a while. Malt and I used to do a regular show every Tuesday for quite a while, at least a year or two, and it just got to the point, man, where I was just between that and doing just like more fun off the wall drinking, man. It was a lot, so that's why I kind of take it down. And plus, cost wise, even if you're being really frugal with finding some of these bottles, man, it's still pretty painful across the board. You're off work, good, you just email me. Okay, sorry, I've been today's kind of scatterbrained. I didn't realize that this was going to come today off the wall. So it was not something planned. It literally just arrived a little bit ago, and I was so excited. And since I was off and I had some extra time, I thought, you know what, wife is playing in her garden out in the backyard, and you know, kid is probably, I'm sure she's still in video game land. So I thought, well, what the heck, I might as well open up a couple of bottles. I think I think we're definitely going to start with this Glengarry. I've been a fan of Glengarry for a bit, even though you never hardly see their offerings at all. It's kind of sad. My first, I think my first, I'm going to verify real fast. I usually use distiller on the side. I don't pay anything extra for it, but They have a great database. I used to do a lot of written taste notes through there. And I know when we did, I was lucky enough to be involved with a group that was tasting every distillery from Scotland. We weren't really, looking for the great bottles. Unfortunately, it's a lot of money, of course. Even getting 12s all over the place. But I do remember, and I don't know if I did a. I hope I did a tasting write up for that one. I thought it was the 12. It might have been. It might have been an independent bottling, and then when that happens, it is a lot harder to try because I usually did. I've done a few, but I haven't done a boatload, a ton of the independent um, reviews on there yet. So maybe it was the Founders Reserve. I don't think so, but I'm not finding it. But I have had a Glengarry in the past. It was around either a 12 or a Virgin Oak. It was a basic. I remember it being a pretty basic option, but it was still good. It had sherry involved with it, and the make it's in itself to me was good, even as a basic, even at a high ABV. Even I think the 12 comes in at what? Let's see, 48. That's still a solid ABV for any distillery. That might be an older bottling. Let me make sure that's not a different one. They also have a beautiful 15. I've not tried a sherry cask matured, also known as the 15-year Renaissance. Um, that's higher ABVs. That's like 53, which is also like this one that I was lucky enough to find just by luck, trying to find a higher end, a higher end Glengarry. It was really tough, and Malt knows that we've been looking into these for years now, trying to find that right bottle. This one was kind of a gamble because I did not realize that this does have a sherry involved with it. I thought by looking at this bottle, and you can see the beautiful color. This is a 17-year. This is the third chapter of this series, and this is another thing I wasn't aware of until I got it and was doing more research. The Glen Garioch Renaissance series has 4 chapters out right now, 4 being the most recent. This third one is still out there, and they're all about 50. Let's see, I had this up here a second ago. I believe it's, yeah, 50. The first release, the first chapter was 51.9. That one was a 15-year. And then the second chapter was a 16-year at 51.4. This is a third chapter, a 17-year. So every year they're getting higher in age, which is kind of nice to see. This is a 50.8%. And then they have a fourth chapter just released, which is an 18-year, which is 50.2. And this is so new that I don't know how readily available it is. I do assume that these are all kind of pretty similar with the character. I'm not going to look at the tasting notes, but I'm just looking to see if they are more specific on the the cask maturation process or the finishing, showcasing Glengarry, sorry, deliciously different house style following its reawakening in 1997. That's when they were down for a little bit, came back up. Third chapter in a 4-part story. So there are going to be only 4 chapters of this, it sounds like. Reveals the spirit's character at 17 years old, rich in honey, smooth with citrus sweetness, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Interestingly, sadly, I just found out, and I do hope, since this is a 17-year, that this is only due for consistency's purposes, which I know is still a pain for a lot of us. This one is pretty good about putting the ingredients on the bottle, and unfortunately, you'll see that one after the caramel, E150A. That is not cool for me, but I do like the fact that it being 17, it's not. I mean, maybe that's why it's such a beautiful color, but I'm wondering why they felt the need for that. Maybe after the age, it still was too light for their eyes. I'm guessing, but the only thing extra in here is the medium caramel E150A coloring. It looks like, but at least they put it on the bottle. Doesn't say anything about chill filtration, which is weird. But with it being 50.8, let's open this bad boy. What the hell? And let's See, we can tell if it's chill filtrated usually by just pouring some in. Of course, we'll do it neat first, and then we'll add some water. And usually, if you watch the water as it's entering in, if you see the plume, it's typically pretty much a go that it's going to be chill filtered. But hopefully, we get lucky. But I have another way to find out if this has got chill filtration involved with it, which I have a bad feeling if they're going to bother coloring this stuff. I'm hoping to God they decided not to go crazy with chill filtration as well, but we shall see. Teddy G, KGB, good to see you, man. Gonna have 25. Yeah, we'll be doing that in a second. Wow, I didn't expect they would color their stuff. Me neither, man. I almost bought it for 250 years ago, but back it wasn't my thing. Wow, if the 18 is not your thing, I don't know, man. I thought it was a pretty good whiskey. Yeah, I mean, me too, man. I miss doing it. I wish I had the health to do it on a regular basis, but we do what we can. So we poured this out. We're going to be doing this is a fresh opening. This is right out of the bottle. And of course, most of you guys know that are into whiskeys that they can change over time after a month, after 3 months. So once you do a review, and it's hard to really call these reviews. These are more like chats. It's really hard to give a whiskey its proper review unless you really sit with it. To me, from the beginning, the middle, which I consider 1 month, to the end, 3 months, and then you really have experienced it from the the pop, the bottle neck pour. You've experienced the guts of it with and without oxidation, which if you've ever hear me talk about the Kalila 15 unpeated, man, it's something else. It's in a good way, but it took like 3 or 4 months to get there. We'll put it that way. Yeah, I miss hanging out with you guys a lot more often too. That's for sure. Let me see if Whiskey Exchange. You guys know Whiskey Exchange. They're usually pretty good about disclosing some of these. Now they're not going to have some of these bottles that we do because this Glengarry one, I don't think they even ever thought about having it, unfortunately. But maybe we'll get lucky. I'll look at Glengarry and see if they have any of these, which they do not. They do have some older ones from the 60s and 50s. They've got a new 15. It looks no, that's a 1990s 15-year-old. Never mind, forget that. That's not going to be the thing. I do have the Founders Reserve and the 15-year-old Sherry Cask. The 15-year-old Sherry Cask, is I'm pretty sure, is the one I've had previously, and it was damn good. Let me see what they talk about. They don't chill filter their whiskey, it looks like. So at least, even if they're using a little E150A, which I'm not too happy about, that's my only ding I'm going to get them on so far. Thankfully, it does not look like they chill filter whiskey. If you know otherwise, please let me know. But I've checked multiple bottles, and they are upfront with the coloring, but they also are upfront about not chill filtering. So if you are going to do something to the whiskey, I would much rather I'd rather you do nothing to it. But if you are going to feel inclined that you have to do something, please color before chill filtering. That does make it a bit better. Don't be like Dalmore and do both on your whiskey if you can help it. I know some of these guys have a huge markets. They felt like they have to for the Asian markets and all that stuff. Like Lundronik's in that right now, and I'm just like, I remember the first time I knew Tux was a good fill at the time he compared the 99 to Kokomo by the Beach Boys. Yeah, that's a no-brainer, man. As soon as you taste that whiskey, I could hear Carl Wilson singing that falsetto in the background, hitting that chorus, man. It's just it's just too perfect. Would you drop 160 on a Kalila Unpeated 17? The answer is yes, but I would not expect it to be great out of the gate. And the Impeded 17 is the one that I had the salt problem with. When I first opened it, Malt, it was extremely salty and olivey and briny. If you like salty, olivey, briny kind of drams, then you might like it from the get-go. To me, it was way too much. I gave it like a 2.5 stars from the get-go. But then, like I said, over a few months, and I know unless you have a decanter, forced oxidation is not the easiest thing to do right for whiskey. But if you don't like olive briny, salty kind of whiskey, give it a few months, decant it like hell. I guarantee you though, once it is done in like after a few months, dude, it was a 4.5, 4.75 out of 5 whiskey. It was beautiful, like beyond beautiful. I couldn't believe the difference with just air. air air alone can make or break whiskeys and some of the time. Thankfully it's not as prevalent as like with water, without water kind of thing. But I have noticed that if there's a whiskey that I'm not really keen on, then oxidation helps. But that opposite's true. Like when I had the Scorch, the Ardbeg Scorch committee or not committee, I remember distinctly that right off the bat there was this really nice strawberry, raspberry, fruity kind of feel to it. But sadly, even after like a week to a month, it was gone. And the second time or so I went back to the whiskey, I did not enjoy it near as much as I did the first initial time. So that but this is all subjective, as you know, man. It's weird. That's awesome, man. That I've come to kind of like the Scorch limited edition. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's funny how you hit a whiskey is sometimes if you're lucky you get the initial hit and you're like perfect. You hit it with water, you're still like wow, it's different, but it's perfect. And you after oxidation, you're still like well, damn, it's still a damn good dram. And thankfully, with things like the Ardbeg Ugadal, things like the Brooklady Black Arts, things like the Highland Park 18. I can go on forever. They are good from the initial beginning to the very dry, bitter end of after 3 to 6 months, if you let your whiskey sit around that often. Mine don't usually see more than a few months. So there you go. The CR was solid always. Yeah, the CRs, man, tend to be solid. Like if you're gonna take, and this is serious, if you guys are gonna take a gamble on Ardbeg's offerings, I've noticed, starting with the drum especially, it's better just to go ahead and just not even bother with the limited edition and just try to gun for the committee release because of the difference of quality is so in your face usually, especially with the drum, especially I mean even with the grooves. I mean that might have been reversed 'cause sometimes they get the limited edition better than they do the committee. Thankfully that's rare, but I have seen it happen like maybe once. But the the black was another one where the regular release I'm like and the committee release was like to me was a banger. But some people get into it, not so much. Yes, the Travon, I've had both batches 2 and 3 just because got them for two. Wow, I hope they're worth it. I I was lucky enough to grab the first batch, Teddy. I have not had 2 or 3. I can speak on the first one. The first one was very, very good to me. I remember coconuts and pineapple, the signature Ardbeg smoke. Did I wish there was something else, maybe a little sherry involved? Sure, that would have bumped it up, maybe, but it was still a solid 4 to 4.5. I mean, it's 300 bucks is pretty expensive. That's how much they usually run here. If you get it for 200 euros, man, that's a steal. No matter if you kind of like it, I would think, or not. But it's a lot of money, no matter how you look at it. Hey, good to see you, Dustin. Yeah, see what I mean? Like the if you're gonna even bother with any of those special Ardbeg releases, it's kind of just go for the committee. And thank God Lefroy only does one carriages release. Could you imagine if you had to worry about 2 releases every year like you do with Ardbeg? Plus, Ardbeg has the Ardbeg Day stuff like the fermentation and some of these off the wall stuff. So if you're a collector like me, man, it's kind of a nightmare to try to keep track of all this stuff. Yeah, Ardbeg is done. Just move on to better whiskey. Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I will say that the hardcore stuff was really a letdown. The committee is tasty. You got to put some work into it though. The limited edition is a complete waste, and even a 3.75, I think I kind of gave it as bumpy as bump as I possibly could, but I still have not gone back to that one much at all. And seeing these two have definitely made me a little happier. Dustin is there, and I was about to quote him because he's the one that said Trevon was a real letdown. Yeah, yeah. I don't think he liked the first batch. I liked it, but I don't know. Maybe he. I'm not sure if he got the pineapple coconut signature Ardbeg thing out of it, that kind of stuff. But if you're asking me if it's worth $300, I don't think it's worth that. I think it's more worth like maybe 2 to 250 maximum. But how you going to get a 19-year-old whiskey from Ardbeg? That's not. It's tough. It really is. Didn't get placed. Tell me that, but okay. Wow. Yeah, that dude, that's way too high. I mean, it's honestly that limited edition is not even worth $60. I mean, it's not. Yeah, I would pass. Honestly, it's really young Ardbeg with a kind of an interesting roasted malt that kind of is reminiscent of a Signet, but not near as good. That kind of sums up to me the limited edition version of the Ardcore. It's like, yeah, you can get the black toasted barley thing, but it's still young Ardbeg no matter how you do it. Yeah, it's a big step up. They did a sherry finish malted six that's jaw dropping. Well, let's have a little sip, see what we get with this. Is anybody else, Dustin? Have you ever had any of the Glen Gariochs? And if you have, like, not like Dustin, I know Malt and I have had a couple in the past. We have liked what we've had. I'm not huge on the E150A, of course, but the fact that they don't chill filter, the fact that they have a 17-year age statement, and the fact that it's done at 50.8% ABV, I'm willing to look past a little bit of coloring, maybe, barely. Maybe a little bit. Have you ever had, I don't know if Dustin, if you're saying nope, never had any to the Bunnahabhain 25 or the Glen Garioch? I'm just curious. Ooh, okay. Interesting. Cool. Okay. The first note was surprisingly like a sandalwood, cedar wood kind of note. Nice sweetness, lot nice fruit. Got some orange citrus stuff going on there. Definitely got your honey, and it's got definitely got the sweetness. Definitely does not smell young, thank God. Does not smell anything like an Ardbeg Ardbeg limited release. That's how I can know if it's going to be new whiskey or not. If I can smell that crazy green banana plantain note, which ugh, that's a rough one. Thankfully, I'm picking up more now. I think after I've had a lot of older versus younger stuff, now I'm picking up. I think the younger stuff more, but this is more ginger. There's no, thankfully, no banana, no plantain note in here, but a lot of spiciness too, which is nice. Bit of nutmeg, maybe even some cinnamon. It's got a lot going on. It's got like a juicy fruit thing going on too. Hmm. Not not as maybe powerful on the nose as I was thinking it was going to be, but all the notes seem to kind of jive. I like what I'm getting from it. Let's see what the we think the mouth coat's going to be. It looks like it might be nice and medium at least. I'm not sure about heavy, but it definitely is holding legs up pretty well. A couple of drops going really slow. Just wish they didn't put any damn color in it, for God's sakes. Brown sugar and stuff. Yeah, I'm actually down with the nose so far. I kind of like what I'm getting. Sorry, let me go back and make sure I catch up here. Dustin, dude, I tasted the sherry. So good. Selling not bottles for sale, but folks are coming in to get the resort bottles. Okay. Mike and I did a review of buying this whiskey. Wouldn't pay for the good stuff. I have an unopened bottle of 25. Only had the Glen Garioch 12. Gotcha. Yeah, I think the one I had was probably a version of the 12 or even maybe the Virgin Oak, but I don't think the ABV was that high. So I don't think it was the Virgin Oak. I think it was like a standard 12, but I think it was like 46 to 48%. That's what kind of helped, I think, a lot of the basic taste of the Glen Garioch was they're not afraid of the ABV and they're not afraid to stop with the chill filtration, thank God. I've been proved wrong twice now with sherry finished bourbon and rye. That's good. I was looking at my 4 gate bottles. 11. Wow. The Glengoyne is, I'm sorry, the Glengarry. I keep saying Glengoyne. Glengarry has always struck me as a great dessert dream, super rich. Yeah. Yeah. I remember it being nice and sherry rich. Like they did sherry well on that other one. Now, this has got hints of sherry. It's due to the color. I thought it was going to be more of a straightforward, a straightforward bourbon type cask, but evidently not. It seems that it's bourbon and sherry casks based off of the whiskey base stuff, bottled in 2017 with 17-year. Pretty nice, I have to say. So far, I'm happy with the nose. We've let it sit out for quite a while already, so it's definitely had time to air out and stuff too. So don't think I'm doing this willy nilly. Interesting. Let's get going for a neat taste, man. I do love this nose. The nose is spot on. So far, we're doing really well. We're like 4.25 out of 5. Wish it might have been more up in the front face for the ABV it is, but that's a nice nose. Oh wow, okay. We're 50.8, so we're not messing around. Wow, okay. Wow, okay. Good, 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 good. Honey, spiciness, sweetness. Finish is long. Mouth coat. Hmm. Is it oily or waxy? That's where I'm kind of. It's not light, thankfully. It's got like a nice oily. I'd say it's more oily than waxy. Really nice spice level on this. I think it's a good marriage of the sherry and the bourbon cask. I just wish I knew what parts they did with what. Let me see if I can find any more information. But that is tasty, I have to say. Not too happy about the E150A though. But thank God they don't chill filter it, and great ABV. Age, I can feel it. Does it? I mean, does it feel 17? It definitely feels at least 15. I'm not sure. I, I think it does because the waxy the oiliness is so much there. It's on the heavier side of a mouth coat too, which is interesting. But it's not like Kleinleach level. It's right before you get there. I would consider Kleinleach more of a waxy, oily whiskey. This has just got the oil, not as much just the waxiness. When you get into the waxy levels, that's to me is like more of like a even heavier mouth coat. But man, does it help that finish linger longer than I thought it would. If you like citrus and spice, like an orange with like a cardamom, I think is what you call it. I'm trying to think like those orange spicy candies. It's something else, man. We're doing pretty well, I think, with this meat. Even I don't even think it needs anything, but I am kind of interested to see what happens with it. Someone on a Springbank 12 cast strength 57.1. Oh my gosh. In the wild yesterday for 140. Price is so cray compared just years ago. I had to pull the trigger. Have you had that one? No, and it's funny. I did go through a phase where I was just getting every Springbank I could lay my eyes on because I do love their whiskey. I will be up front and say, as far as like, if I was gonna if I had the capital to do my own distillery right now, who would I model it after to make sure I'm doing a good job and that you know I don't sell out too much? I would have done it like Springbank started it. I think they're getting to the point though now where, and it's not any fault to them, their secondary market prices are just way over to the roof, to the point where now I think the problem is that these whiskey distributors know how much Springbank's going for across the board secondary, so they're already trying to beat people to the punch and sell it at that level, which is, when you're talking local barleys and stuff like that, it's just crazy. So short answer, sorry, is I have had the cast strength. It was when it was a black box with a red label, and that was really it. It was black and red. This was good 5 years ago, at least. Solid whiskey. Got it for 110, 105 even, I think, at the time. It was well worth it, even more so. I would have paid 120 to 125 for that. But when you start getting up to the 140s to 150s, that's when I'm kind of had to put the brakes on. I'm like, yeah, it's a great whiskey, and for that ABV, it's hard to say it's not worth it on one hand. The other hand, though, I mean, damn. You know what I'm trying to get at? It's like, yeah, it's almost like talking about Macallan. Macallan's, most people will agree that they're overpriced on one hand. The other hand, though, is to get some of the interesting particular casks that they do when you get to the Spanish stuff and things like that. There's a lot to it. There's a lot to the craft, but Springbank's doing a hell of a lot better job than McKellen ever thought of doing. So I will say that. But you know what I'm trying to get at? These prices are just freaking. I would model after Glenelg, but make the whiskey better. That's not a bad idea. Yeah, Glenelg, Billy Walker, man, he's done a hell of a job. Wish he was still with Glendronach. No offense to the people there now, but I think he did a great job there, and I think he's going to do a great job, and he's already doing a great job with Glenelg. So I do miss the 12 cast strength black boxes. Those were stunners, man. He thought they were worth 200 all day. See, this is where it makes it really difficult, because yeah, like I love a sherried, peated, or just sherried whiskey, and as top notch organic like that I can get it. I'm not comparing to like something like the Ardbeg Ugadal to it per se on craft, but just by ease of purchase, price, ABV is pretty much there. I'm going to gravitate more towards throwing 80, $90 for a Ugadal way before I'm going to throw 200. But I guess I'm not getting I'm not saying that it's not worth it per se. It's more of like, for what I can get cheaper, is it worth the difference? That's where I'm kind of, you know, thrown. Needs better malt, way better malt. Yeah. The malt holds back for being great. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. The make, you can't really change the make, but maybe I mean, I guess you can if you change the way you make it in general. But I don't know if Billy's going to do that there. I don't think so, because he probably would have started already. But I bet good money that those black boxes weren't 12 years old either. The age on the you think that I guess you're saying that you think they probably were older, even though they were marked as 12 years, Dustin. I think you're probably right. Maybe that's why maybe you detected more age out of it. I was just starting my whiskey journey at the time. I could appreciate how great it was, and I got all the nuances and all the power and all the glory from the dram. I just don't know if I was able to detect some of those older things at the time, which was 5 years ago that I had it. That's where it gets kind of, it gets kind of tough. So if you're right, oh wow, thanks. Kilhoman's make hits you a little accurate. I'm surprised. That's one whiskey that I've never had a Kilhoman so far, even with the age being young. I've very rarely have had one where I'm kind of like, what is this? The only time that's ever happened, I think, was maybe, man, I'm looking down here at all these Kilhomans. I've got like two shelves full of them down on the bottom here. Even the Sauternes I thought was pretty solid. I loved the Fino. I loved the PX. Love the Lot Gorm. Love the Seneg. Love the Umburic. Love the red wine cast matured. Love all the cast strengths, the originals. They had one original cast strength I remember that was it was a 2014 version, I think. Or was the 2012 was bad, the 2014 was good. The first Kilhoman original cast strength was not all that great. The second release was phenomenal. I think that's where it gets kind of, I don't know, Just like the old Bunnahabhain 18s were clearly using a good pit of the 20 to 25 year in whiskey, and those were still back in the day. Yeah, it's sadly, as soon as this 25 came in, Dustin, I was like, I th- threw out my old 18 square black bottle when I had that first time I had it. I was lucky enough to have it again at my buddy's place where I was able to kind of stop by, and he offered me some, and I liked it. I think just as much as the old one, but it's been 5 years, it's really tough to kind of compare. I'm indifferent about Kilhoman in the most literal way. A good bit, a good bit of the 20 to 25, yeah. I'm not in love with their more malt forward Kilhomans. Yeah, I guess, are you talking about the Isla? That's the one I did not like. I do not like I think it was the 100% Isla or the Makir Bay. One of the two. I can't remember which one it was. I wasn't too into that as near as much as all the other ones, but I'm very subjective when it comes to what I really get into, and if it's just peated and it's like a Highland or like that kind of type of whiskey, I'm not gonna like it as much. Like, I'm not a huge fan of the Lagavulin 8. It just doesn't really do much for me. The Distiller's Edition, though, that's a whole nother thing. See, I like it when they do PX or Oloroso, or if they have some sort of special red wine cast, that kind of stuff with peat, then we're great. Or just without the peat, with just the sherry and the maturation, then I'm still on board. But I don't like the real basic stuff, or the real the stuff that's peated without any character to it, kind of thing. I don't know. I did the new and old side by side. They were night and day different whiskeys. Wow. Not seeing it. They're not, because, like I said, it was 5 years between. But I wish I had the old and new bottle to sit down like you did and go through the motions. I probably would have came up with the same comparison if I could detect the older. Dustin's got a really, I think, a good uncanny ability to detect the age in whiskey more than most people. I think is what it boils down to. Because it's not just getting the real young stuff. I think he's really good at getting all the older stuff out of it too. It's probably by experience. I have a feeling. That's just a guess. Yeah, the 100% Isla didn't do it for me. Bitter and sour notes in the malt. I think I know where you guys are coming from. I'll agree with you on that. I am not a fan of the 100% Isla. I remember having it at a whiskey tasting, and sadly, that's the only bottle of Kilhoman next to the Sligo Bay at the Cool Point that I actually don't have. I'm a huge fan. So, so the good news is the other ones, the Makir Bay, I think I've had and liked it. I can't remember if it was a cast strength version though, but um, that's one I don't own a bottle of per se yet either. So the Makir Bay, the 100% Isla, the Coal Point, and the Sligo Bay are the four that I'm trying to find at one point. But the other point, the 100% Isla and the Makir Bay are probably going to be the last ones. Yeah, I just never really got into that one. It could go far, far away. So at least we're in agreement on something. At least we agree what's on the good bad side. Usually we can, even though I know some of you guys are much bigger fanboys for certain things than I am one, and I on the other hand, it all kind of equates to, we know what's good and what's not good. 100% Isla is not worth the coin when Bruichladdich does that so much better. There you go. I think that kind of is a really good summation of why Kilholm just focus on their maturation, finishing, what they do best, and not so much they're worrying about as much about the organic barley, bare barley, Isla barley, all that kind of stuff. Leave that to Bruichladdich and Springbank. They kind of already know what they're doing, but I don't know. Maybe it's something they can get better at with time. I don't know enough about the distillation slash process to know how much you can influence that based off of just where you get the stuff. But really enjoying this one, I have to say, guys. Would Dustin be able to detect the age out of this as much as some of the others, though? I don't know. I don't get a lot of young whiskey in it, thankfully. I do. It does feel like a 15 to 17. Love the ABV, love the flavor, love the nose, love the spices, the fruits, the balance. Not really bitter or anything. I mean, it's just got a really nice balance to it. Really nice mouth coat. I do appreciate a heavier mouth coat on most whiskeys, so it's definitely not like a Glengoyne where it's really ultra thin. Some people do like that. I like a real more of a thicky, viscous whiskey, and this one is kind of there. Not saying it's cleanlish, but let's have a little water and see what we get. I knew I was going to forget something. Where's my dropper? There it is. I'll be right back, guys. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's do a little drop in here and see. I think it's going to be really good still because there's so much spice going on. If you let me, I'm not going to say this is a spice bomb. To me, a spice bomb is like a Tamdu Debility Dram. If you ever had one of those, if you have it, you should get one. It's one of my favorite whiskeys. I've only had one time, and I'll probably never see it again, which is really sad. I love the Tamdu Debility Dram for a spice bomb. What's another spice bomb? Longmorn 16 is kind of a spice bomb, I would say. It's not to that level, but it's getting to the cusp. It's almost there as far as that spiciness. Now, the funny thing about adding water is, a lot of you guys know, you get even more spice sometimes when you deal with. I'm using bottled water. um, you get a bit of even more of a spice kick a lot of the time if you're dealing with like white and black pepper, whatnot. You know what I mean? I think. Where did I put that? There we go. You get more of a spice kick, a lot of the time when you're adding even some water, believe it or not, white and black pepper kind of deal. Let's go back here. Can we now crap on water for the third tour marketing? But they use 4 different cast finishings to show their tour. Wow, that is pretty bad. That's pretty bad. It's There's nothing worse than when people try to finagle or game the system to try to get around certain. I don't like that. What's the maturation on that? Yeah, that's what I was trying to find out, man. I looked and looked. I don't have any more details other than I know they use bourbon casks and I know they use sherry casks. How much and how long for, I don't know. I will say that if I'm going to take a guess, they're probably typically like most distilleries where they have their 12 years in their bourbon, and from 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 5 years, I'm thinking sherry, like a finishing, because the sherry is here, but it's definitely not in your face. I get more maybe of the bourbon, but I do get some sherry, a lot of sherry, like the fruits and the spice I think are coming from the sherry. It's just it's hard to tell how much is coming from the oak, the wood process versus the spiciness from like a sherry, because I know it could come from both areas. The taste profile, I'm thinking that it's coming from more from the sherry than from the bourbon oak, only because of the age. I would think after that kind of age is probably not going to be is woody forward with the spice influence. I think it's going to be, this is a guess, unfortunately, because I'm just kind of doing a hypothesis here. But well, that wouldn't hurt if the goal was tour and they were using wine cast for yeah, and first fill bourbon. That's all over the place, man. They better have a hell of a blender for that. I think it's the multi-process more than the Bali origin. I think I do think there is a lot to do with the barley origin, but there's a lot to do, I think, with the process with in combination. I'm not saying it's 50-50, but I do think there is a bit more to barley origin to what people think, but yet sometimes I don't think people get the best stuff. Like we were talking about, Kilhoman slash who else were we were talking about doing whiskeys that were like kind of the make itself was kind of in. I think it was Glenellich's basic make. They were kind of like, I wish it was a little bit better. So I don't know. But could be all processed that, but I highly doubt it. I think it's like maybe 40% where it comes from, 60% process. That's my guess, though. If I feel when it's too young, the terroir masks too much with classic new make. No, only one hand Waterford. Yeah, I haven't tried any of that Waterford stuff. I think isn't that like a new Irish whiskey or something? If I had to take a guess, I just haven't even thought about diving into other areas. I'm still trying to catch up with all the Scotch stuff I've been trying to do for the past 5, 6 years, and I still haven't got all the distilleries I want yet. In time, I was trying to figure out all I could tell with burnt word, funky notes. Oh man. Hey, one, good to see you. One's in Hawaii. Aloha, my friend. Hopefully, you got a dram you're hanging out with this with. I know it's a little early for you. It's 3 here, so I think you're 5 hours behind, maybe even 6. So that's what, 2, 1, 12, 11, 10, 9. So is it 9 a.m. your time? I guess you're not hitting the whiskey yet, probably. I'm probably way off, but I'm just guessing. Then I saw the barrel blending, and well, no wonder it tasted like disjointed crap. Lordy, that's pretty bad, man. All right. Well, thanks for stopping by the Dustin, and come back and yeah, I was gonna say it's 9 a.m. in Hawaii, man. That's crazy. Well, if you could sneak a dram and you're not having to work, you could hang out and with us and have a couple. We're not gonna be going anywhere anytime soon, I don't think. Man, yeah, head over the dog. That's true. Well, so far I have to say the finish on this is good. See if it got spicier or might even brought up more of the bourbon cask elements out of it. Tamed the spice with the water. I don't know if I like that as much. I might get more of the sweetness, more of the honey slash brown sugary notes. I lose my spice though, which is really strange because usually when I add a couple of drops to whiskey, it's the opposite. I'll get more white pepper or more black pepper or more cinnamon or nutmeg or something like that. This is like brings out more of the bourbon quality. It's funny. I guess it's definitely 12 years bourbon and 5 years of maybe pretty solid sherry to get it to this level where you can get the spiciness out with a couple of drops. I don't know. Ooh, the spiciness is on the nose rather than the palate. So it's kind of the water actually does a reverse on the nose and palate experience. It's bizarre, but that's not bad. It's interesting. I like interesting whiskeys like this where you kind of it's not all one way, and you really get kind of a different feel for it depending on how much effort you want to put into it. And well, the nose is like probably the best thing about this whiskey. The palate's not a bad thing either. The finish is where I'm kind of like, I have to have another neat dram to really gauge because the first initial hit of it and the length was pretty long, but I'm getting definitely more of the caramelization butterscotches after the water. I think I prefer it neat if I'm gonna have it all one or both ways. Uh-oh. Hey, mon ami, bonjour. Comment allez-vous? I gotta work on my French, man. I haven't been able to practice in ages. You're like the only person I know that actually speaks it. And my daughter's been taking it for 2 years now in middle school. So hopefully by the time she's in high school, will be able to use it more often. We'll see how it goes. What are you sipping today, if anything? Quebecois. Oh man. Hey, Meister French, good to see you too, man. Yeah, we've been hanging out, having a couple fun whiskeys. So far, I have to say, this one is definitely, I would say, worth a pickup, and especially for the price, is a lot lower than I thought it was going to be. It's the third chapter of the Renaissance Glen Garioch. Um, Let me see what did I actually end up after everything's said and done. What did I actually drop on that? And then we'll talk about the Bunnahabhain in a little bit, which I did get a hell of a deal on because I would not be spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on that unless it was like, you know, got a better deal. Oh, thanks so much for the heads up, Malt, on that email that you sent too, by the way, because I have been looking for that sort of. I've heard mixed reactions to the saltiness, brininess of that dram. If you haven't already done a review and you're holding it, I understand. We can talk about it later. But if you want to chat about that, we can too. It's up to you. But I think you recently did a show or are about to do a show on the Lefroy New Carriages 2022 warehouse series deal. Um, I've heard kind of mixed reactions to it, and after the port and wine fiasco, I'm kind of like, I don't know. They did a hell of a great job with the PX version, though. The PX carriage was phenomenal compared to the port and wine to me, and I usually like port wine, like maturation, finishing, whatever. But that was something else. Okay, let me focus on the Grace. See. Let me do a search here for what I did on the price deal. Oh, Trooper, good to see you, man. Looks like Teddy speaks a little French on the sides as well. Since I have to, I want to, I would almost guess that was since you were 11, but I know that's not the number 11. That would be onze. Let's see, un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six, sept, huit, neuf, dix, onze. I think douze. So onze, douze. Once would be, I think, 11. So I forgot what that word was. The coal I know is school, but I can't remember what Leaves is. Sorry about that, man. That's a tough one. Yes, and we'll be looking at that. I know aujourd'hui is today. Je peux pas. Aujourd'hui. Speak very well. They are just English accents, something like that. Yeah, onze. Oh, pupil. Sorry. Yeah, That's what's tough about French. It's like I'll see the words, and usually I'll pick up on some of the stuff, but certain words that when they're close to conjugate, what they call cognates, where it's really close to English, but it's not quite like formidable. Is one of those funny words where you know it could be used either way, but it's not really for formidable. It's more of like a exclamation of greatness. I don't know how to explain it, but you know what I mean. Never had a Glen Garioch, never seen it in Louisiana. Yeah, I've never seen it anywhere. I actually had to order this from overseas, man. I just got lucky enough to be in a state where they'll ship to Maryland. Are you able to order anything overseas, Trooper, at all? And I know you might still be working on that oil rig. I don't know what kind of dress they have there, if it's an international or if it's Louisianian dress or what, but not to try to get you in trouble at work, but maybe if you talk to them up front where it's like, hey, I need to get a couple bottles in. Would you guys mind using the address? They might not give you a hard time, but that's a tough one, man. I'm not sure if you can get fine dreams. Okay. It's worth a look up, I think. Let me see what this was running me. Sorry to get sidetracked. You guys get me on tangents, and I'm easily get sidetracked, as you already noticed. Yeah, I got this for 115. For 115, I think is a pretty damn good deal off of this. And this guy, believe it or not, locally 725, which to me is absolutely insane. I would never pay that for it. And even when it was 600, I thought that was way too high. I got it for 355. So, yes, it's expensive. It's 25-year Bunnahabhain. 355 American. I can't say no to that. Like, I just can't. And if you're interested in knowing where I got it, please write me an email and I'll give you a heads up if you in case they have more. I don't know how much more they have of these, but I did have to order it overseas, and I'll give you the connection and the way to pick it up pretty easily. It only took 3 days to get here, like surprisingly fast from the UK. So no joke. I guess they have a distributor over here already that they probably have shipped things to, and they're just distributing for them. I don't know how that works, but however they're doing it, they do a hell of a job. So I'm not going to complain. Anyway, yes, great to see everybody here. Sorry to get sidetracked, but yeah, for 115, 116, come on, man. I'm gonna have me another one because I want to talk about the finish of this one just real fast. One more neat pour. What are you guys sipping today? You guys, someone's got to be drinking whiskey with me. I know you guys aren't just like, you know, doing whatever. Have I lost 20 to 30 pounds. I wish, man. No, I'm just wearing black today. I'm still big boy supreme, as you can tell. I'm not, I'm not I'm definitely not down to, I'd like to lose 20 to 30 pounds. I'll tell you that though. Maybe I did and I didn't realize it. I don't think so though, man. I'm still like around 290. I float around 295 to 300 nonstop, man. 290. Yeah, it sucks. But I'm 6'3", so it's not terrible, but it's not great either. USA batch 5. What about that one? I do have that one, I think. Let me go check. I'll be right back. Well, I appreciate the feedback there. Two wheels, Swami, because I still need to lose like literally 30 to 40 pounds. I'm not the best of health, but I'm the happiest. That's all that matters. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, I got this one recently. I don't think this is the same thing as what you're seeing. As what you're saying there. This is United States of America small batch. It's a Sauternes cask bourbon barrel sherry cask at 48.3. I did have a small batch. I thought I might have finished that one already. I can't. I honestly, I've been doing so many Kilhomans lately that I can't keep track of them all at work. All right, man. Yeah, just don't drink at work. That's not a good idea. That is what I'm drinking: bourbon, Sauternes, and sherry cask. Oh, you're drinking this one. Are you drinking this one here? That's cool, man. Maybe you pop on and have a show with me on it if you want to. Hell, why not, right? I did never really talked about that one. I don't think. We'll see. Trooper's jealous. Uh-oh. Yeah, it probably is the same one. If you want to pop on, let me know. Just say yes or no on that one. But let's have a let's have a neat. Well, he's thinking about it. He can do that. All right. Let me send you an invite on the side here. Copy. Malt. Muser. Send. Send. All right. You can pop up. I'll see you pop up in the studio there when you get a sec. Let's have a quick one more finish look at this Glengarry, man. It's something else, I have to say. Hmm. I wish Eric was still lived nearby, man. I would go up and give you a boatload of whiskey in Philadelphia if you were still there, man. Oh, I know you. I know you have to had to go though. Lots of great citrus, great honey sweetness, nice spice. Finish is still going, still going, still waxy. I mean, not waxy, oily. Sorry, oily finish still there. Still getting plenty of spice in the citrus, the oranges, lemons. But is it complex enough? I mean, it's spicy, it's sweet, it's got nice fruit in it. There might be some missing earthiness or something. I don't know. It's not. It's definitely not what I would say perfect by any means. Don't stretch the imagination, but let's see what their tasting notes were just for shits and giggles, because you never know. I might have missed something that they meant to be out there. Luxuriously. Oh, we're going to get into the words here. These are their official tasting notes. Luxuriously, I can't even say it, indulgent. Layers of creamy Highland toffee, which, yeah, I could get the toffees in there. Rich honeyed toast intermingled. I did get the toast, the honey, definitely there. With velvety baked apricots. Apricots. Yeah, there is a nice drying. I mean, I called it more of an orange lemon citrus kind of thing, but it definitely has a dryness of like an apricot in there too. leading to smooth malted caramel, which is definitely there, culminating in a tangy, spicy, sweet orange marmalade finish. Yeah, I mean they do a good job of describing of what it is, but you know, I wouldn't kill myself to get it. But if you could easily get it for 120, I'd say why the hell not for a 17-year, a distillery that you probably never tried. All four chapters I would see are good. They've always had solid reviews of what I've seen in all four chapters. Um, they do have some really high ABV NASs, but I would stick to the aged ones because at least you know what you're getting in the bottle. That's just me. But yeah, pretty solid. Let me get Malt in here. Sorry, man. How's it going, buddy?
Telex.
Hey, good to see you, man.
Ah!
I was glad you got to pop on with me because it's been
Dude, what's
way
up,
too
brother?
long.
Yeah, man. I am also off work today. Happy Juneteenth. It's yeah. I'm basically been trying to kill some bottles of Kilhoman that I have because I'm like, I think you and I have talked about way in the past. Kilhoman is just one of these distilleries that I feel like misses more than hits for me. Not that I think their whiskey's bad or that they're like, it's because of anything like that. It's just their profile. It's not my jam. Sort of like Talisker, which we've talked about.
True, yeah. If you don't like a white black pepper like profile, it is really in your face.
Yeah, man. But here's the thing, dude. Here's the thing. This USA batch 5, which I was like, I wrote this off. I have batch 3 also, which is the one with the port, which I quite liked. I was like ready to write this off until it got to about right here last night, and I was like,
oh,
no, this is starting to taste good. So I came back to it today, and lo and behold, here we are. So it kind of ties in nicely with what you were saying about your experience with, like, you review a whiskey when you think you've got your bearings on it. But then it's like sometimes it changes for the worse, sometimes it changes for the better, and then you end up, where it is.
I mean, could you imagine if I just stuck with that 2.75 for the Kalila 17 unpeated? I mean, I would feel like an absolute idiot. And thank God that I went back to the distiller and I updated my review, even though it was like 6 months later. I was like, I felt inclined to give it a 4.75 versus the 2.75.
That's the right move. I mean, yeah, you got to. I mean, like, there have definitely been a couple reviews that I've done that I think if I could go back, I would change the score. I was too high on Glenfarclas 25, even though I was disappointed with it.
Same here.
That's one of those, if I go back, I'd probably dock at least a point off that.
Same here, definitely. I agree with that one.
There's a few of those, man, especially from like the earlier days, because it's a journey, and when you're on the fucking journey, you're on the journey.
I think it's because I did not take account enough of the craft of the whiskey. When I first started doing like so-called reviews, I was looking at just the taste. So, back in the day, I gave a Bowmore 15 Darkest probably a really good score because I liked the way it tasted. Yeah. It was a little different and funky. But now, looking back at the coloring and the chill filtration and the way it's made and now it feels really weak. And it's like, wow, I wish I did have that experience, with now knowing what whiskey should be crafted like.
Yeah,
it's tough.
No, that's real, man. But like, here's the other thing though, and this is what I'll tell you, Telex. Like, I would say the thing about it is, it's what it was when you drank it, and ultimately, it's like a bottle of wine, right? Like a bottle of wine is a living thing. You fucking drink it. You drink it. It is what it is when you have it. The experience you have with it is worth more than some arbitrary number, and
True.
like. It's hard to remove those moments. I mean, we've all had those times where you drink a whiskey that's just, blows your mind, but that makes it hard, man.
Well, I poured a little dram to join you. This is the United States small batch. This is the Sauternes Bourbon Barrel Sherry Cask 48.3, and you've got the same exact one.
Dude, I do. What is the level of your bottle, though?
This is it, man. This is right about the same as yours, I think.
Yeah, man, dude, this gets so juicy. Like, the thing about Kilhoman that always strikes me that I can't, that makes me always find them really hit and miss, and I've done a couple reviews, I'm just not really into most of their stuff, is it lacks a fullness of flavor that is replaced with, and then it has, well, I shouldn't say replaced, it lacks a little bit of a fullness and that could be partially youth. And then it's like got this just acrid kind of sour peat to it that I just don't like. In this bottle, and I swear I was just like, I'm sure I know where you got yours, Potomac, right? On sale.
No, I actually got mine from Petite up
Oh, okay.
in Ellicott City, believe it or not.
Well, I was just like, man, I got to make some space. I last night I just started getting into Kill. I was like, I got to fucking drink these. They've been sitting here forever. And I was like, whoa, this is filled out. It's gotten juicier. It's matured. It's hit its puberty. I don't know what the fuck you want to call it.
I think you're right. I think some of these guys really it helps with its foundation somehow when it gets more oxidation. I don't know why.
It really has, man. This whiskey's turned around.
Is yours number 5 on the side? Where it
yeah. This is number 5. It's the same bottle.
And 1260 bottles. Yeah, yep. 1260s is a decent run. It's limited, but it's not like probably
Potomac
too hard
sells these at $74 a pop, man. So I had to buy it.
Oh, that's a really good price.
Yeah. Always, you want Kilhoman's, always check Potomac, man. They sell that stuff at cheap.
Let me see if what Petite is selling it, if they still have this. They probably don't at this point, but you never know. Let me see if I can give you a
Telex. I got to tell you something, man. With the theme of your show, bro, I just happen to have an unopened bottle of Bunnahabhain 25 right behind me. And I'm wondering if maybe I should just crack that thing open and drink it with you today.
If you feel so inclined, I would be honored if you join me, man. I don't want to like force your hand on one hand. The other hand, though, I know you can get another bottle for $3.50 if you want another one.
I know where you got it, and that's where I got it too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know where you got that. I saw that $3.52, bro. I was like, I got to jump on that.
I thought I was seeing things. I was like, these guys either they don't know what they have, or these other guys are way overpriced. Because my guy in Ellicott City is selling that same bottle, with the exception of the 750 versus 70 milliliter thing, for $7.25. I'm like, are you kidding me? $7.25? Yeah. That's way too high.
Well, dude, you know how it goes, man. I wish we could find the same type of deal on a Glen Garioch 25.
Exactly. Oh, this one they got it for $85.98. What was your price at Potomac? Same thing.
74.
Oh, even better. Okay.
And Potomac will ship to you for sure. They'll ship anywhere. Potomac Wine and Spirits DC shop. They get good bottles. Check their website frequently. And if you're looking at Kilhoman's, they definitely got good Kilhoman prices.
Okay.
Yeah, they got their USA batch. They always have the new USA batch, and it's always on sale like $75.
Awesome. And this is on sale for even Petite at 86. So if it's on sale at 86, they probably regularly run it for 90 something. So there you
go. Yeah. No, yeah, definitely, man. Kilhoman's aren't cheap.
I'm glad you told me about that, because I would have definitely overpaid for a lot of more.
Yeah, no, I got you, man.
Do you have this poured out already?
Oh, yeah, do I? I've been drinking it the entire time. In fact, I'm going to pour a little bit more right now so as to join you with a freshie. I am not using a Glencairn. I'm using I'm a bougie bastard, I guess. I'm using one of my like crystal freaking tumblers right here, which are just look at that design on these bad boys.
I love that. That's nice. Man. I like all glasses as long as it gets to what you enjoy. Then what the hell, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, this is like that kind of Art Deco thing. I got really lucky and got a sweet deal on these, so I had to pick them up.
I got to look at definitely getting some more here and there, but I wish Kilhoman had some more older stuff available, like 12 to 15 year by now, but it is what it is.
I had that age stated 9-year BIB bourbon influence batch. It was like an homage to the Bottled and Bond. Again, it's just one of these Kilhomans. It was like that the ABV's there, the presentation's there, but it was just so like thinner than it should be,
Yeah. I enjoyed that one more than this one initially. This is why I still have some of this still left.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like as this went down, this thing turns really good. I didn't expect it, but here we are.
This one still has. It's funny that we were talking about younger versus older whiskey, and the funny thing was, now that I come to this, this one, I definitely still have like what I would consider like I could definitely smell the youth in it. Like there's definitely like I don't call it green banana or plantain or something, but there's definitely something in in the base of the spirit that I can detect now.
Yeah.
That I've gone back to it, but it's not bad. I do like now I'm getting more of like corn notes, like corn, like rounded malty
Really?
notes.
I can kind of see what you're saying there. I'm wondering if you're also getting. Let me ask you this: when you first opened this, did you kind of feel like the Sauternes was, I don't know, playing a little bit second fiddle to the bourbon cask, and now there's this, for me at least, there's this juicy kind of cream, like vanilla whipped cream peach thing going on that I just did not get before. It's really like juicy, almost like nectarine, maybe. I don't know. That I just didn't pick up before, which is what's turned this around. But your point on the corn is well made. I didn't even really notice that, but that's
Well, I was talking about the nose part. Now that I had a taste of it, yeah, you nailed it with it's definitely when I first hit it, yeah, it was more of like a caramely, butterscotchy, straightforward,
Yeah.
high ABV type, get. Now I'm almost getting like a nectarine melon kind of. There's like a lot of melon almost going on with this taste profile.
Totally. But it's filled out. You see what I mean? Like on the back end of the palate, this is where Kilchoman always gets me. It's the back end of the palate before the finish. It always just kind of drops off, and then this like kind of sour, ashy smoke kicks in that it just feels like it's missing something. This, it seems like with oxygen, the transition has gotten a lot smoother. And that's really the only smoother in the sense of like it's seamless. And that's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah, the Kilchoman steel from the beginning, when you first open especially, it's pretty harsh, but this one definitely has more of a it's definitely, it feels deeper, if that makes any sense. Like there's
exactly. And that is I think what I want from them. That's why I just, again, I don't hate, like their distillery is doing everything right. It's just a profile style question for me. It's not to me like Talisker where I think I have maybe some more criticisms, but no, this is a solid bottle, man. It took a while, but it's solid.
Oh my. Yeah, it's definitely grown on me with the finish is definitely better than it used to be too.
Yeah, 3.5 ish.
But yeah, because at first I would have gave it like a 2.5 to 2.75.
Totally. Yeah, maybe 3.25. I mean, it's like right in that range. 83, 84, 83 kind of thing.
It's really what makes Kilchoman great across the board to me. The reason why I give them the benefit of the doubt a lot of the time when it comes to giving their bottles more time to progress like this is because they don't chill filter, they don't color, they have great ABVs. The only thing they're lacking is that age. Once they are around for 20 years, man, I have a feeling these guys are going to be something special. I really do. I mean, they're already damn good, even with the 9 to 8 year stuff they give us on occasion.
Mm-hmm. Totally, man. Totally.
But you're right. I do enjoy it a lot more now than I did to get down to this level.
It's still young. It's still not quite like fully. It's a bumpy ride. It's a bumpy ride. Uh-oh. Where'd Telex go? Shit. Give me a thumbs. Can y'all still see me? I think.
Sorry, I had an issue where I was trying to wipe something and it completely closed it down.
Can you hear me? Shit. Okay.
You can hear me okay?
Yeah. We're good, man.
Sorry about that. Yeah, I was going to say what was the last thing you said? Sorry.
I was saying that like this still shows a level of youth that
big time, yeah.
Like it falls apart a little bit quicker than you want. But not bad. It's not bad. It's look for $74, 48% ABV, non-chill natural color. You got Sauternes, you got sherry. The sherry is not very detectable, but a little bit, right?
Yeah.
This is not a bad bottle at all at that price. So it's hard to bag on it too much. It's not. I mean, I'll tell you, and I don't know if I ever sent you a sample. Maybe I should. The batch 3, which was the port one, I think is a little bit more elevated than this.
The port one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kilchoman does much better with port than other cask options that they have. But
I'm going to crack open this. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to crack open this Bunnahabhain 25 and then
awesome.
Get this in the glass and just let it let it get a little oxygen while we continue this, and then whenever you're ready for it, we can go. But yeah, I've been sitting on this for like a year, bro.
Good idea. I'm gonna do the same thing because I have not even opened mine yet either. Let me go ahead and get it poured so while we're talking we can let it breathe a little bit. Because yeah, anytime you guys deal with 25, even 15 to 18-year-old whiskeys, you definitely want them to breathe a while before you try to tackle them. That's for sure.
Man, I was wondering when I was going to get around to opening this. Here we
Me
go.
too. It's definitely
There's no way this is going to be bad, right, Telex?
There's no way. I would think after enjoying the 12, the 13, the 5, the 18, and all their like weird, other releases that this could be bad. I mean, the Storia Dare is not much to really get excited about, but all their other offerings are pretty damn good. Even the Encladoc is not great, but it's like decent enough to buy.
I got one of these. I have an old 18 and a new 18. I think I'm going to do a comparison uncorking video on the channel one of these days. But I have this old 18 I've been sitting on for a while.
That is a beautiful one. I just threw the old carcass out of that exact bottle that you got.
Oh, righteous, man. Yeah, I'm going to get into that. The 18 was like one of my favorite. I think it was on one of my Whiskey of the Year lists a couple years back. That is killer stuff. So this 25 better be good, but I'll let that gyrate.
I would think it would be because the 18, man, like you said, especially that black bottle. I've had the black and the new. I didn't have them side by side like Dustin did. Dustin said they were night and day different bottles, which
I've heard that. Yeah,
could be great. So I don't know, but man, it's kind of depressing though. On one hand, to think that how good the 18 was versus how it was now. But when I had it recently, I had a newer bottle, and I wasn't disappointed by any means. I really enjoyed it and had a couple of drams out of a friend's bottle that he didn't mind me having. So
that's awesome.
It says Ralphie destroyed the new 18. Wow, I wonder how new the
new one I had. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm like, I haven't had a new one. I have the newer branded one, but it's from at least 2 years ago. So I don't know, but. Yeah, I saw that he was kind of shitty on it.
Do you know how? Excuse me. Do you know how to tell what the age is on these 25s that we got? Like, is there a way to tell? Like, I'm assuming this is like a newer.
It's
box,
newer
right?
because of the branding. Yeah, I don't know because there's no scan date on these. I would assume this was probably the oldest. This is 2019. I guess would be a fair guess. Maybe the newest is 2020, 2021, maybe.
Good point.
It's probably within that range, right? So this is,
it's probably a newer version of a 25. I've never had any of the older ones. If anyone has had an older 25, definitely let us know in the comments or afterward if you don't mind.
Well, man, and look at the packaging it came in. I mean, the thing, it comes in like a fucking 10-pound safe,
It's crazy. Is yours like this?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, dude.
It has like this opening side thing, like
Look
that.
How heavy this is, even without the bottle. It's like I could do freaking curls with this thing.
You could. It is pretty hefty, but that tells me they probably put actual wood in this thing.
Yeah, most assuredly.
I would hope so.
I love how they say small batch distilled on it. Like you need to add extra bullshit flair language to a 25-year-old Bunnahabhain. That makes me depressed, but okay.
And the weird thing is, it's like it comes out, but you can't expand it more than that. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah, no, this is it. That's it. And then it's got the weird twist top thing that like locks the bottle in.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't even see that until now.
It tells you how to unlock it. It's
when I ordered it, did they ship yours like already outside the bottle, like different packaging? Because mine was actually taken out and putting in a different container.
Thing is dusty. I'm actually not sure. I don't remember. Probably.
Oh, okay.
I've literally had this for like a year, as stupid as it sounds.
No, that's not stupid, man, because it's one of those bottles you don't open unless you have a reason to. And I'm just glad that you were around to celebrate, the fact that
we're going to make today a reason. So it's Juneteenth. We're going to celebrate the ending of a horrible, oppressive system that our country was somewhat partially founded on. And it's also just Monday and Telex is on, so here we are.
Usually I'd be working like everyone else, but
me too.
I was like, hey, the delivery came today. I'm like, what better time to have a little fun with the whiskey friends out there? So I'm really glad you guys got to stop by and hang out with us. I'm still enjoying this Kill Home, and it is funny. It is funny. It's like I I think you nailed it with it. The bourbon is like in your face at first with oxidation. The Sauternes especially gets more in your face. The
Yeah.
sherry is there, but it's not as profound as I wish it was. That's the only thing really lacking, are
I'm
more of the
actually not
sherry.
sure what I'm supposed to like where I taste what the sherry is. Maybe a little bit of that dry fruit on the end, but again, this is too young for it to be a super dry sherry note. I mean, it hasn't oxidized long enough, so it's probably like, I don't know, maybe it's giving a bit of the creaminess and freshness to the saute. I don't know. But it's only 5% sherry, so
I think it's giving us. I get a nice a spiciness now. I can't remember if I got it from the initial, first 3/4 of it. Probably not, but I'm getting a nice like spiciness somewhere in there. That's
yeah.
I think from maybe the 5% sherry influence. Maybe that's a guess though.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm going I don't know. Maybe my palate's must have been. Are you getting a slightly almost sandalwood type quality to this? Like like a subtle Japanese whiskey style. Now, of course, like you know what I'm saying? That
Oh
kind
yeah,
of grainy. I don't know.
light. It's like a light fruit graininess kind of thing, like
Yeah,
a fruit
yeah,
cocktail.
pasty, a little pasty. Yeah, like a marzipan, like a nutty paste type thing.
It does have that in the background. I'm not
Really
sure if
solid though. It's a totally solid bottle at $75, especially these days.
Yeah, it's kind of it's one of those tough bottles to me because it's like, do I wish almost they focused on the sauternes and the bourbon and maybe not, but without that spiciness, would it be as good if they didn't have the 5% sherry in there? It's kind of makes it tough. That might be
Right.
that might be why they did it that way, but it definitely is more sauternes now than it was when we first opened it. That's for sure. I would give it a still solid three something. I'm thinking a 3.75, 3.5, somewhere around there. I'm
Wow.
thinking
Yeah. I'm like right in that 3.25, 3.5 range. I'm like probably right there with you.
3.5. Yeah, I think you're right on the money.
It's a totally competent, good dram worth tasting if you can.
And for that price, under
And
100,
the price
definitely.
is just great.
Anything over 100, you're overpaying for this whiskey, I think, though. But it is limited, that kind of thing. I mean, if you're already a huge Kilhoman fan and you love their make, I would definitely invest. But if you don't love the make to the point where you get involved with their 100% Isla and Macure and all that stuff, then maybe it's not worth
Yeah.
going higher than that. But
True.
I love the fact that they always put out pretty decent stuff as far as quality.
Yeah, and their presentation can't be beat. I mean, they put it on the label of their bottles and on their boxes. All their stuff's non-chill filtered. All of its natural color. It's always bottled above 46%. Have you ever seen a Kilhoman bottle less than 46? I don't even know if I've seen one at 46.
Thankfully not.
The Sanag maybe is 46.
I think even the Struyader is. Let me see something.
Well, that's Bruichladdich. Or
No,
that's Bunnahabhain.
Yeah, Bunnahabhain.
I was saying Kilhoman.
Oh, sorry. Which one? Oh, Kilhoman.
I was saying is, do they even have anything bottled at 46? I think maybe the Sanag is.
The Seneg is 46, but 46 is their lowest ABV.
That's the lowest they go.
I'm trying to find one that's lower than 46. 1 second. So far, all their like basic releases are all 46. Even the Fino,
which is like which is what you want to see it, man. I mean, Bruichladdich does this the right way. I mean, their shit's all like 50.
Yeah, that's true.
Which like right on.
Yeah, Bunnahabhain's also usually
the prices aren't that much higher for most Bruichladdich. I mean, okay, their 10 Port Charlotte compared to it is actually I take that back. Their 10 Port Charlotte is a bit more expensive.
I mean, both the Bunnahabhain and Kilhoman are great. I think as far as ABVs, because they're like even Bunnahabhains are always at 46.3% usually.
Well, and that wasn't always the case. Like older bottles of the 12 and maybe even the 18, from what I recall, were like 43, 46, maybe 43, and they used a chill filter. They moved to a non-chill filter, natural color approach, I think probably 5 or 6 years ago.
Thank God.
Added, and then they do everything 46.3 minimum.
I think is that their what's it called? Latitude or longitude. I know Talisker does it for that purpose,
I
but
don't know.
I can't remember the reasoning of why Bunnahabhain does 46.3. If anybody can let us know, let me know in the comments, because I have noticed that all their bottlings now, at least like Malt said, from the past 5 years, they're 46.3 for everything, which
Yeah,
is
it's
solid.
real, man. No,
I wish
definitely.
I wish all these guys did 46% as their minimum and then grow from there, but that's a whole other thing. But yeah, my only beef so far today is with that Glengarry is with the coloring. If it wasn't for that, it'd be pretty damn
You
perfect
didn't
as
seem
far
all
as.
that impressed.
I mean, I'm impressed with the taste profile and the with and with the water experience, as far as like it does like a snafu reverse on nose
You
and palate.
seemed, yeah, you seemed more impressed with the price you paid for it. I'm not so sure. I don't know, Telex. You didn't. I'm not meaning to call you out, bro. It's been a while. We're rusty. We haven't done a show in a while, but I'm just gonna say it. You seemed a little bit like, this ain't all that great. But
Well, okay, if this was
let
150,
me
I
know.
would be
You tell
more.
me.
No, you're right. If it was 150, I might not be as praiseworthy,
Yeah,
especially for the fact of the coloring. But for if I can get this for under 150, and it's definitely hovering around 120,
yeah.
I have to say, especially if you've never had a Glengarry and you just want to know what it's like, that is a bottle that I would definitely be like, yes, you should
What
try
was
it.
the ABV on that again?
50.
48.
It's a 50.8.
Okay.
50.8. It's pretty solid. It's a 17-year. It's got sherry and bourbon involvement. I wish I knew more about the maturation or finishing process of what they did. The way the taste is so spicy that I have a feeling there's sherry, definitely a sherry involvement, lots of fruit with the caramelization and all that stuff. So I'm thinking it was 12 years bourbon, and then the rest to the 17 to 5 was sherry. But as far as like, Oloroso versus PX, I definitely get more of an Oloroso feeling from this, because of the dryness and the fact it's not as sweet, but the
Yeah.
fruit is still there, which is really nice. I would still, I'm kind of still thinking about a finish score. The finish was good. It's medium length, not as long as a Lagavulin 16, but not as short as a lot of others. So I would give it a solid 3.75 to 4. I think at this point.
Hey, that's a good score.
It's not a bad one. It's not, you know, 4.5 excellent, but it's not
Yeah. Where
average
would you
either.
now? Like, do you remember? Do you remember the Glengarry 12?
The Glengarry 12. Yes, I
I
think that's
mean,
the
that's a
first
four
one.
out of five whiskey for me. I for sure. And that it's been a while since I had it, and I'm curious, like, if you remember it enough. So you're looking at about a $50 price increase to the 17, maybe more depending on where you get it. Maybe a little bit higher than that. Like, how much better is this than the 12? It might be hard. I mean, it's been a while. Like, it's been years since I had it. I just remember
Yeah.
having that bottle.
If I'm going by, let me look at one last thing here. Let's go at the 12 versus the 17 in a versus kind of a thing. Let me go back 1 second here. If I'm looking back at, let me get rid of Renaissance. We'll just look at the Glengarry 12, for example, which I'm pretty sure was the first one and only other one I've ever had. It
You
was
have a
40. It was it,
15 too, I think,
it was
right?
also 48%. So the ABV is a little bit less, not much, and it's also ex bourbon sherry. I think if you could remember your experience with the 12 and
Mm-hmm.
just add 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 to it with more sherry involvement,
Yeah,
but not sherry involvement like a Glendronach would be, more of like a sherry involvement on a spicy level. If you could think of the 12 with more of a spicy sandalwood cedar characteristic to it,
sure.
with more bourbon influence versus the sherry, then I think you would be at where the 17 is, if that makes any
That's
sense.
interesting, man, because like, I remember that 12 just being so mind-blowing for a 12 years old whiskey. Like the richness, I think I mentioned earlier it was kind of like a dessert dram. It was very thick, like very indulgent whiskey. And I don't know. I'm trying to think like if he added more of a spice element to it, like how that land. I don't know. It sounds good. I've not had the Renaissance 2, the 15. I haven't had that. I've not had really much Glengarry, but I mean, this sounds like it's like it would be interesting comparison between the two. Hey, Carl, what's up, buddy?
Good to see you, man. I wish I could speak some Flemish for you.
I got to grab some water, Telex, if you want to catch up on the chat, and then we can.
Oh, no problem.
I'll be right back.
No, I think you're right, man. It's really the Glen Garioch is a tough one with the comparisons, because I remember the 12 being really great, and I think the reason, Malt, that the 12 was so great was because of the ABV being at 48%. You never see a 12-year-old, whether it be Glendronach even or Macallan or any of these guys, ever sitting at an entry level at 48%. That is on the higher end, and I think that's why we both appreciated it so much more. I'll have to wait till he comes back to see if that's maybe the part of the case, but I'm going to cheat and nose this Bunnahabhain 25 for a second, because I poured it out earlier, and I know it's going to be so... Ooh, wow, okay. Color on this is insane. Thankfully, yeah, let's pull up the 25 information while we're waiting for him to come back too, because this is going to be something special. I know, because whether you like or love the Bunnahabhain 12 and 18 and all the other releases, no one can convince me that they're not a solid distillery that knows what they're doing. It's mind blowing how I mean, and it's funny because they call it peated whiskey at Bunnahabhain, but we're talking 3 to 5 ppm. It's extremely subtle. Even at their 25, they deem it a peated dram, but it's very, very, very low in the BPM, where I wouldn't even bother telling someone it's peated, because I don't think most people can even detect the peat in it at that low level. This 25, I wonder how much different it is from the old one. I would think it's really similar, but let me take a look at something. Let's see. Also, catch up on some chat stuff here. Sorry, guys. Let's go back. Wow. A lot going, being they're 18 and 15. And yeah, that would be something else. That would be interesting to see if Kilhoman can ever make it to 18 years without getting too funky on some of their stuff. They think I lost weight because I've been lifting so many boxes. I wish.
Hey man, however you gotta do what you want, man. You know.
I've been actually doing more. I've just been doing more walking, trying to be more active. I've been too sedentary lately, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, you and me both.
Oh, good to see Loch Ness, man. It's been a while since I've seen him. Good to see you, man. He's working while he's having a little fun. 46.3, yep. And we said hi to Belgium, and we got I found the 18 to have a slight bit of peat mixed in with the oak, but didn't notice it on the 25. 25 was way more chocolatey. That could be good. He's talking about the Bunnahabhain, I believe.
Righteous.
I poured it a little earlier, and I took a little quick sniff, man. I think we're going to be in for a really nice treat.
I cannot wait. Before we get into that, Telex, I wonder if you'll give me like 15 seconds to do a shameless YouTube channel plug.
Oh, go ahead. No problem at all, man.
So tomorrow night, what is Monday? Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. I'm going to have a happy hour as usual, but I'm going to be uncorking the new Lafroig Carchis 2022. If any of y'all are looking for it and live in the United States, I found a place that is selling them for $89, which is not that bad of a price.
Oh, that's a hell of a good price.
I emailed you, Telex. I will drop the link in the chat right now if folks want to copy this. Get in where you fit in. This is probably one of the better prices. It's 52.2%. They ship. It came within 3 days for me. They ship from New Jersey. They seem to be shipping almost anywhere. So if it comes to Chicago, it'll go anywhere. Link is in the chat. If you need to get yourself one, do it. And that's it. But I will be tasting it tomorrow. If you want to wait until then and hear what my dumb 2 cents is on it, go for it.
Yeah, I'd love to be able to. I'll have to see if I can get it from there or from a local deal. I'm not sure how quick. I know you're doing it tomorrow, so I'll have to see if I can snag one on the side real fast. But that would be fun to be able to do that one with you. Yeah.
It's going to be great. I this is the first fully bourbon cask that they've done since the 2017 quarter cask strength.
And that was one of your favorites, if I remember
correctly. Oh yes. 3 notes, all turned up to 120, and it's just perfect.
And if I remember correctly, you said that they did have the older 43%, and you're right. I was looking at some of the older 295s going back to it looks like, I forgot what year it was, but 2016, 13 was 46.3. But they do have some 43s if you go back far enough, it looks like.
Man, you're going to laugh at this. Carl just said that Bunnahabhain 25 has gone up in price here from 250 euros to 355. He thinks that's insane. Tell him what you saw.
Oh my God! Let me show you something. Let me show you something that'll make you feel a little bit better, my friend.
Oh man, yeah. Lay it down. Dude, something 355 like that's expensive.
How about had a heart attack when I saw this price? Hold on here. Let me. I'm gonna put a link in here so you guys can literally see it. This is no joke. Here we go. Bunnahabhain, and this is a now. I think the reason might be it's an older version. Let me see if it'll let me put the link in here. Maybe not. There we go. They went $725 for the 25. Now, the picture they're using is older, and it's 43%. So the funny thing is, it's an older 25 at 43%. Would it be worth $725, or wouldn't you rather have the newer one at 25 years at 46.3 that we're about to have? That's my question.
Here's the thing, Telex, to add on, just to build on what you just said. Here in the United States, Bunnahabhain 25 standard price $500-$600, no matter which release it is. So maybe they're upcharging a bit for the older bottling there, but you're not going to find Bunnahabhain 25 under $500 anywhere anymore. Maybe $450, I don't know, but so. Yeah,
I have looked.
55 euros is why Telex and I have this bottle right now.
for 3 years solid, I have been on a quest to find a Bunnahabhain 25, and Malt knows, because I even told him from when we were starting the show together back 2 years ago that I saw one for 600, and I thought it might have been a steal. And now looking back, that we got this for 350, and we got it for a better ABV than the old version. I think we did a good job.
Oh, totally, man. Compared to what it used to be, or compared to what it is now, I mean, standard price. The Bunnahabhain 25 is outside the market for most people at this point. And it's always been an expensive dram, as it should be at 25 years old. But no, you're not going to find it much cheaper. I mean, this is like Glengoyne. Glengoyne 25 used to be like 300, 350. Now it's like 500. Bunnahabhain 25 is even more than that still.
But if you guys want 350 for this right here, it's only, and the only bad thing about it is yours also 70 milliliters.
Oh yeah. I got it from the same place you did, man. I know it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you guys are interested after the fact, let me know, and I'll send me an email at telex@outlook.com, and I'll try to send you a link to it. But if you're interested in the new version at 46.3, it's still 25 years, but only $350, man. You can't beat that anywhere. No way.
in the U.S. prices these days, that's freaking highway robbery.
Exactly, because at the lowest I could find, even the new one, was way above $600 even today, man. It was crazy. It was nuts.
Yeah, no, it is what it is, man.
Could you imagine getting a case for like $250 each? That's I can't even say anything to that, man. That's nuts.
I hope it's good.
Yeah, for that price, man. For $725, even for the old version, the 43% really makes me kind of worried that it wouldn't be as good as this one we're about to have. Don't you think?
Here's the thing, man, and this brings up the big question: is it's like there's a couple things you look at, right? ABV is age in casks, right? Cask, you don't really know. It's kind of up to what you taste. Age, they'll put on the bottle if it's an age statement, and an ABV they will as well. A 43% ABV bottle with great casks, and I think about Ben Romick 15. I think about a lot of Ben Romicks as examples of really great casks.
Parallel proof.
Whiskeys at great prices that aren't high ABV. So could a 25-year-old Bunnahabhain at 43 outshine a 46.3%? I think totally. I think it's about the casks. You know,
Yeah, that's true. But I
and
mean,
the age
do you
statement
think?
is there, but I don't know.
I
I don't
wonder if
know.
the casts are different enough to justify a $400 price increase versus this one versus the old one. That's where I'm kind of like, only someone like Dustin or someone that's had both could probably tell us if it's worth the difference. But I really doubt anyone would justify 725 for any version of the Bunnahabhain 25 at this point.
Well, yeah. Well, Telex.
You opened it, my friend, and I really appreciate you having the journey with me. And I want you to go, feel
All right,
inclined
I'll go first.
to
Okay,
go
sounds
into
good.
it and see what you feel.
Love a good impromptu show. It's great to be back in the saddle with Telex to Whiskey Tech. We survived the worst of COVID together, and I hope many of y'all probably joined us every Tuesday. We do still definitely appreciate all of that,
Oh
and
yeah.
we had a really great time, and you all made it better. So a little impromptu show today, I guess. Here we are,
Yeah.
and here we go. This is the Bunnahabhain, 25 years old.
Nice color.
Nice color. It
And we
looks.
know it's not colored at all, which is
It
nice.
says right here on the bottle, natural color, non-chill filtered. Here
Thank
we
you,
go.
Maker.
Yeah. 46.3%, 25 years. I'm assuming this is an ex-bourbon, ex-sherry maturation. Does it actually say?
Let me take a quick look while you're
It
looking at
does
the other one.
not. Yeah, take a look. I'm going to, I'll start with the nose.
This is a refill X sherry casks only for at least the older one is refill X sherry casks. I can't speak exactly for this version, but let me look at Whiskey Base to see if there's any difference.
Okay, I'll tell you right now, top line, this is the best Bunnahabhain nose I've ever smelled. And what I mean by that is, yes, you have the sherry, which we'll get to in a second, but there is a characteristic note of Bunnahabhain that smells a bit like a damp basement. I always characterize it as walking into one of those old,
Oh,
used,
dude.
musty, one of those old, musty bookstores that you find in downtowns in many fine cities. In that kind of musty old books, and the place doesn't seem like it gets a lot of fresh air. There's so much of that coming off of here, and it's still there, and I find that in all of them. But let me tell you, the raisin note, the creaminess, the heavy cherry fruit is the tropical fruit is just
Oh my
absolutely killer
God.
in the nose.
This is definitely up there with that Ballblair 83. This is that caliber of whiskey.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
I love that musty funk that Bunnahabhains have. I just love it. And it is huge on here, despite the 25-year-old age statement, which I'm just.
Dude, the tobacco chocolate note on this is to die for. It's crazy. That combination. Are you getting that tobacco chocolatey kind of?
Oh yeah, the tobacco I'm getting. The chocolate, not as much. I'm getting a lot
Oh.
more raisin, but I'll probably be right there with you.
Yeah, I'm getting like you ever had a raisin cream pie?
Yeah.
It's got that raisin cream
Well,
pie.
or like chocolate. Well, sort of. Yeah. I know what you mean. The creaminess, the like there's this fresh berry note.
There's a lot. I mean, when you're paying this kind of money for a dram, even for $3.50, you expect it to have a lot of character. And thank God this one is not disappointing on any form, on any of that.
No, man. It has a little bit of a, again, and this I think is related to that musty old bookstore damp basement note. There's like a flintiness, like almost like a slightly metallic flintiness that's so subtle and rounded that kind of gives this kind of, I don't know, this diesel fuel kind of thing to it. Do you notice that?
And you're probably going to think I'm crazy, but I want you to take a deep nose note on this and tell me if you get this at all. I might be crazy, but I get this like really intense Concord grape peanut butter and jelly sandwich in here. It's crazy, man.
The grape, definitely. I'm not getting the peanut butter, but the grape I definitely get, and that's that berry quality. It's like juicy blackberry. Yeah, totally.
Let some more air come in the nose with you.
And just for y'all watching, I think Telex and I mean, I had this sitting for at least 20 minutes. You're probably right around there too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely I wouldn't even touch a 20 to 25-year-old without even letting it sit out for at least 20 minutes by far.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you synthesized it down to just like profile in the crudest form, this is like uh, fresh fruit in like aged wood. Like that's I don't know like in two notes.
Now try to, if you can, try to close your eyes, do another nose. This time eliminate the fruit and all of this stuff. I know it's not easy to do, but try to don't think about the fruit. See if you can get like a cashew pecan nuttiness out of it. There's some sort of nuttiness I'm getting out of this, and at first I think it's more of like a creamy peanut butter than a deep
Yeah,
earthy.
I'm
It's
looking. Yeah, I think I follow what you're saying. I can see where you're getting that. It's so subtle.
it's
I mean,
subtle as hell though, yeah.
but
But
I'm
it's
getting it.
I love
I'm
the
getting it.
fact that it's there. I just appreciate like a hazelnut if I can get it, even if it's really subtle. I love the fact that I can get that little bit of
That's a serious deep note right there, man.
yeah.
Well pulled. You really pulled that out, bro. I like it. I guess for me, it's a little bit on that like. Have you ever had? If anybody here who lives in the South, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Those boiled peanuts.
Yeah, exactly. That's definitely got that. That's where I was going. It's got like this like almost like a creamy, but yet
But like dry rub,
toasted,
almost a little barbecue.
like a toasted peanut
Yeah.
butter. It's weird. It's like a toasted peanuts kind of
No,
smell.
you're right. You're right. It's there.
But it's really subtle. You really have to dig deep to get it. But man, if once you find it, it's so I appreciate it very much.
Yeah, you're right. For me, yeah, it definitely is falling in the boiled peanuts thing. I mean, I'm in Chicago. I don't live in the South, but I've had boiled peanuts, and I'll tell you,
it,
it's that smell when you open the bag or the canister of the freshly boiled peanuts that you got at your store. It's there.
and now the more air I let get to it, the more like a walnut. It's almost getting to like a walnut status. It's
I
got
can
that
see that.
sweetness. It's like a sweet walnut kind of thing going on. That's crazy. I love this. I love the nose on this so much. It's crazy. I could nose this for a half hour and never sip it
This
and still be
definitely
happy.
overcomes the 18. I haven't had the 18 in a while, but the 18s was a much darker berry fusile kind of thing. This is a much more nuanced, even than the 18.
By far. I
But
mean,
by far dominated though by like tropical fruit and sweet. I mean, the sweet fresh berries and the tropical fruit. I get so much of it just wafting off the nose here, but it's creamy. So really, yeah, I think it's sweet fruit spice and or free sweet fruit, and then like this almost savory,
earthiness.
slightly earthiness, slightly damp wood.
Exactly. Yeah. There is this. That's what separates the 18 to this to me is that it's got this not overwhelming, this underlying antique, dusty, musky kind of earthiness to it that I can't quite explain other than the age factor is there.
Well, I happen to be drinking this out of a I didn't even realize this a Bunnahabhain
Oh, perfect.
branded tasting glass. How about that?
Perfect, man. You can't
Shall we
beat
go
that.
in?
I
Shall we
think
dive in?
I hate to not keep nosing it because the nose enough will keep you entertained for literally hours, but I have to taste this. The nose is
Yeah,
so
do it,
good.
man. Hey, Solange.
Salant
Good to
Chavon
see
to
you,
everybody.
Telex.
Yeah, you too, man. I'm so glad you were not opposed to hanging out with me on this one. Wow. Okay. Thank God it's not 43%.
Ooh.
Oh, dude. That there's this like like it's like a combination of milk and dark chocolate.
Oh man.
It's insane.
Right when you think the finish is coming and it's drying, and then you get that extra surge of like the nutty plum note.
With raisins. Oh yeah.
Oh fuck.
Nice dry kind of. Oh, it's funny because usually I don't like dry finishes, but this dry finish is really nice. I don't know
It's got
what
a
it
lot
is.
of surprises in it. Oh man, nice dark chocolate note. Not overpowering. It's real subtle and almost slightly bitter. And it's just holding together while those sweet notes are bouncing around raspberry, like a raspberry compote, vanilla
Mm-hmm.
cream kind of thing. But the vanilla is subtle. Everything is subtle. Everything is like not trying to overtake the path. This is fantastic.
Oh,
and then the tobacco, man.
That tobacco finish is what I missed on the 18. I mean, I got it subtly, I think, on the 18, but this has got more of a. The finish on this is what makes the 25 worth it to me at 350. Is that yeah, the 18's got a great finish, but this has got wow, the sweetness and the antique character carry the whole thing together.
Interesting too. Now, they brand themselves as an Islay whiskey. This is not one of their heavily peated whiskeys at all. They hardly do any heavily peated whiskeys. There's a slight effervescence that may be coming from the peat here, but I find it hard to distinguish that between that and the oak.
No, you've gotten a lot better with detecting that ppm. This is a 3 to 5 ppm. Yeah. It's very, very subtle. And even though they say it's a peated dram, to me, Bunnahabhains always scream not really peated. But
yeah, no, I mean, there's little to none here.
To give their credit, though, I think they're onto something. I think there is something to the make. When you, even if you're keeping it at a 3 to 5 ppm, it makes a difference enough to keep it rather than not to do any peat at all. I think it does have a quality factor.
Dude, how badly do you want to be smoking a cigar with this?
Oh, dude, this screams. I mean, this absolutely screams cigar, and it's rarely ever happens. The only other malt this happens with, to me, is like if there's an older sherried Ardbeg, I get that. But this, man, this is like this would be the best combination with a cigar, and I don't even smoke anymore. I used to.
Dude, yeah, I feel you, man.
I quit smoking in 2012.
When I go camping, you always bring like 2-3 cigars with me, and I just like sit out, and like a couple scotches. But that's the only time I do it, and I'm like, this is not a whiskey I'm going to throw in my camp sack and go into the woods with because it's a 25-year-old Buddha, right? But I'll tell you, man, part of me is like, yo, I'm going to have to put this in a squeegee bottle.
Dude, this is, I hate to curse, but this is fucking phenomenal. It really is.
Yeah, really good. So, Telex, I got to ask you, man, have you done a second sip yet?
I don't know how many I've done, but man, it's been enough with the nose and with the palate. It's enough just to die for.
Let me ask you this. Again, the Islay is name only on this.
Wow.
There's not much of a. I think the only Islay characteristic might be just the kind of foostiness that still comes through here. If you were going to compare this to, I'm thinking now, thinking back to some of the like old whiskeys we had, Ball Blair 90. I'm thinking back to our shows. We did a couple that were like high age, Edgeradure.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
No, I mean, these are not apples to apples comparisons, but like in terms of just sheer enjoyment, where does this fall for you, man? I can't imagine it's not very high.
The nose, and I mean, I can nose this for literally hours and be content, which shows me it's already
make a candle out of this one
echelon. It's hit it out of the park. And then when you get to the palate, it's fucking phenomenal. Like I said, in the finish, I'm like, wow. I mean, it's one of the best finishes I've had in a long, long time. This is definitely up there with the Edgeradure 21, which is my favorite dram, I think, above all other drams that I can think of when it comes to what I personally like in a whiskey. My number one of all time, I think right now, is the Edgeradure 21. This is really, man, this is the only one that I can feel that could actually beat it. And that's only because I think, sadly, and Edgeradure fans out there, I'm not against you. I'm with you. I would love to taste the Edgeradure 25 at this level. But the 4 years is what I think is really the only thing beating him on this one. But it's so damn good, dude. This is a 5-star whiskey to me.
100%. I'm 5 out of 5 on this for sure. There's no doubt.
I mean, I can't fault it. How could you fault it? I mean, even
I think the only thing that's faultable might be like and again, I just poured a second dram. I'm going to try water, but I'm sitting at 5.52, man. This is a near perfect whiskey for somebody who likes a specific style. This is not an everyday person's whiskey. I think the only thing that compares this, my favorite, okay, great point, Eric Guthrie. My favorite whiskey of all time is the Brook Lottie Black Art 4.1.
Oh yes,
Uh,
he speaks my language because I was
yeah,
just
that's
thinking.
my favorite whiskey of all time because it's so beguiling and it shows a level of complexity that I think dwarfs this. Now I'm giving them both 5 out of 5s, but let's be really clear. This still is worth I think the top score you can give. It's just not. It's a different type of dram here. Like if you like Dunnage warehouse style earthiness and kind of old school Scotch whiskey that is not filled with overcoats, that subtlety is playing to the max. And I'm telling you, I've had 25-year-old whiskeys that are not always as subtle as they should be. Uh, this, I think, profiles the spectrum in a way that for a non heavily peated whiskey is great. Just purely great. It covers
It's
everything,
insane.
and it's like this is what I imagine like Glen Scotia 35 would taste like, or
Oh
like
God,
a
yeah.
Kilkerran 25, or something from that region where you have, or a Ben Romick 40, right? Like you minus the heavy sherry. Like this, the balance is so right. The way the restraint shown here by using refill casks, as you mentioned, which makes total sense. You wouldn't want to overpower this. It is showcasing the malt. It is showcasing subtle bourbon cask and subtle sherry cask in a way that is just flowers into a beautiful whiskey. This is fantastic.
It's insanely good. I mean, the and I'm glad Eric brought it up because I'll give you. I'll be honest with you. If you ask me Telex, what's your three favorite whiskeys of all time that you've ever had? And I've had a lot of different distilleries, as you can tell back here. The three top tier whiskeys are the Ejidar 21, only because I haven't had a 25 and I would love to have a 25. I hope I can find one at a reasonable price. That's the first. Second is the Brooklady 4.1. Also, the new 8.1 I've been lucky to have at
Oh, nice.
26 years, and it's extremely good. It's right up there with the 4.1 for me. The 4.1 will always edge out probably all of them because for some reason with that particular make, I got this really nice truffle note I cannot get
Oh,
on
dude.
any whiskey, man.
Yeah. I have
You can,
3 bottles of that, man. I
oh, you're
can't
killing
believe
me,
it.
Smalls.
Dude, I can't believe it. I have the other 2. These are going to follow me through the rest of my days. I will
I
never sell them, no matter what the price. Those are the whiskeys. I'm rolling with them 3 bottles, although the first bottle's done. So I have to open the next one. When that's going to be, I don't know. But that is the top of the line for me.
I wish I took a cue from. I call him. His name's Lee Gabbard. He's from Richmond, Virginia. He was one of the
Yeah,
guys that
yeah.
you know him, don't you?
Aquaman.
Aquaman, yes, Aquaman. Man, he'd appreciate the black arts. He was the one. I think it was him or Paul Messier. You remember Paul Messier, Generously Paul?
Yes,
You
I
know him,
do.
don't
On
you?
Distiller. Yep.
Them, Prene, PB, Michigan
Hebrew,
Wolverine.
Hebrew Wolverine. Yeah.
Yeah, Prene, Paul, Lee, and Scotty. Those were the 4 on my whiskey journey that I did all the distilleries with. I was lucky to kind of get on the game. And one of the bonus bottles someone did was the 4.1 Black Arts, I believe it was, man. And I thought if you're gonna try to get to the best of the best, the Black Arts
Yeah, I
4.1
mean,
was the best of the best because I
totally.
love a peated dram and that dram needs no peat.
And that was Jim McEwen's swan song at Brooklady. And say what you want about like why distilleries lean so heavily on, a lot of distilleries lean heavily on finishes, i.e., Deanston and some of these. Now, I agree. In a lot of cases, it's to cover up less than great malt. But in the case of the Brooklady Black Art, it's like 20 finishes. No, it's not that many, but it's a
It's a
lot of
lot.
finishes, and it's all done perfectly,
Oh,
untouchable whiskey. I just
where,
put some water on this.
I got a question for you. Where did the Jim go? Did he leave?
He's opening Ardnaho.
Ardnaho. Now, this is important. Ardnaho has got one of the best new makes I've heard out of any whiskey coming out in the last 10 to 20 years. So, if you are a fan of the profile of the Brooklady Old Series and you're familiar with Jim's work, please stay tuned to Ardnaho because was lucky enough to have a buddy. I forgot who it was exactly, but they were lucky enough to try the Ardnaho new make when it was being developed. And the new make alone was a 4.25 out of 5. That's how good they're doing it there. So I'm really excited to see what Ardnahoe puts out here in the future, man. It's going to be phenomenal.
Just to jump on what you said, your top 3 whiskeys of all time. So my top 3 include the Bruichladdich Blackguard 4.1.
Oh, well, hold on. I was going to say, and this is in the top 3. That what you said, this one and the Edgedarth 21 was my top 3. Go ahead. Sorry, man.
Well, I'm right there. Bruichladdich 4.1. The other 2 are not Scotch, but they're really, I mean, they're Scotch adjacent. One of them is Cavalan Muscatel.
Oh, yeah.
Fullest Muscatel. And then, honestly, Redbreast 27, which I need to get you a sample of, dude. You need to try this. But I'm telling you, as far as, like, this is right there. I'm biased because I love the style. If there's, like, I'm thinking of a couple Scotches that I absolutely love that are, like, right there with the Bruichladdich 4.1 for me. So I'm thinking about, like, the Balbliner 90. I'm thinking about, where is it? The Balvenie Tunbatch 5.
Balvenie Tuns were awesome, too. The tunes,
these are right there, and I think this is a step above either of them. This is that good. If you like a slightly drying, again, a little bit more dank kind
How could you not like this whiskey? I mean, to me, you had to be brain dead not to like this whiskey, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, but like a juicy, a really like fruit, like a sweeter forward stogie cigar to balance off the slightly drying kind of nutty chocolate finish in this would just be absolutely killer.
Oh my goodness, man! This is
killer whiskey, man. I'm 5'5", bro. I'll throw 5'5" all day on this, man.
Dude, this is. I'm almost willing to do a 5.25. That's how good this is.
No, at the price though. So Telex and I got this is a really good price. At $700, nah, it's more like a 4 or 5 for me, but maybe even less. But
oh my god, man!
Great whiskey, whiskey.
I could just sniff this all day and never taste it and still say it's a 5 out of 5. That's how great the nose is, man. It's crazy good. I mean, you can get a distant nose and still, oh my lord, it's insane. I mean, at $350, dude, I would buy like a case of this. In no joke, easy peasy choice. If I had the money to do it, I would buy a case of this all freaking day.
I love how everything in this whiskey is like understated to a perfection. Like, it's like when you get that, the first initial mouthfeel is kind of delicate, then it's full, then it's dry, but it's all like within a range, like it's not like super dry and super rich. It's like
exactly
rich but subtle, dry but subtle. And then you get these waves of juicy fruit notes coming up through the finish. Yeah,
I don't know this. Great. I don't know this Andrew Brown guy that's their distillery manager, man. But he knows what the hell he's doing if this is their deal. I mean, I don't know if he inherited the greatness of here.
House, man. What up, Donner?
I'm not sure if he inherited the greatness of this, but if he didn't, and Andrew Brown is the guy, then I wish we could clone that guy because this is fucking phenomenal, man. Bar none. And I'm really sad to hear that. I'm sad to hear that Jim retired from Ardnahoe. That's really sad because that dude. I mean, if you've ever had a chance to have the Bruichladdich 4.1 and never saw its glory and nosed it, tasted it, had its finish, oh my lord! I mean, I wish we could preserve that guy because he knows how to make a damn good whiskey.
Name 3 people you want to cryo freeze to reinvigorate later, to reanimate later. Number 1, Jim McEwen.
Yes. Number 3, number 2, if he had a part in this, Andrew Brown from Bunnahabhain. Yeah, he is the man, and maybe the guy that does. We'll see how he does with age, but the Kilchoman guy, he does a great job with what he's doing so far. I mean, like I said, if could you imagine what a Kilchoman 25 if they were made it to what you like with the ones you've liked from.
Man, I'll tell you this right now.
20 to 25
I like
years.
This whiskey so much, I've like switched over into total lounging mode. I'm with you. Yes, bring me the Kilchoman 25. This is so good. I don't know how I don't drink more of this yet.
I'm surprised you haven't opened it, but I would have.
No, no, I
I
had
would
this
have.
sitting for a year, man. I've had this sitting for a year.
I know how good the 18 was when I first had it, the black box. I haven't had the new 18 other than that one little couple sips from my friend, but knowing how good the 12 and 18 was, I had a feeling this 25 was going to be the best. And this is why I love Isla whiskey. No matter if you love peat, no matter if you love sherry, Isla is where it's at. I'm telling you, there's
Yeah.
no other better region. I mean, Campbelltown is great too, but Isle and Campbelltown, dude, will always to me be the best regions of whiskey. Period. No matter how you look at it.
I'm with you 100% on that.
Mm.
You know, there's one whiskey that I'm thinking about that may rival this.
Uh-oh.
So it was a sample, so I didn't include it in my top 3. I was given a sample of an older, I think early 2000s or late 1990s Highland Park 25 from Mike from Mike's Whiskey Review. Or
Oh
not Mike,
yeah.
they're called Top Shelf Whiskey. Mike from that channel gave me a sample of a Highland Park 25 way before the Viking stuff that they do in their marketing now, which, you know, some I would argue they've probably taken a turn for the worse.
Over the top, yeah.
That was one of the best whiskeys I've ever had, and this is right there with it.
Let me ask you a quick question. Now, the one that you had that was 25, was it the distillery bottle or an independent bottle?
Distillery bottle.
Okay. I've been lucky enough to have an old school exclusive malts 25-year Holland Park that they did. And the original 25 that you're talking about, the exact bottle you're talking about. Now, the one that you had, it had really good tropical notes, if I remember right, correct?
Oh, it had a lot of that.
Yeah. Like it had coconut and pineapples and mangoes and papayas and all the tropical fruit that you'd ever want in a dram, right?
It was fantastic. Yeah. No, that my recollection was, yes, in a euphoric, similar to this in the like mouthfeel of like a delicate but full mouthfeel. Like it wasn't bold; it was just rich. You know.
Yeah, I was lucky enough. I think Lee, Mr. Aquaman, I think he was the one that had a 20. I can't remember if it was him or someone else, but I was lucky enough to have a sample. I didn't have my own full bottle yet because it was like $750, which is way over my price range. But that old 25, man, is definitely killer. I mean, I would love to have that.
You know, Telex, I do have a Gordon MacPhail 27-year-old Highland Park.
Oh, wow, dude.
But there's a big caveat with it. I bought it. It was only about $230. But it's 43%.
Right. That's what killed me on the exclusive malts version. It was only $250 for the 25-year, and it was still good, but it was only like 46%. I'm like, how is that cask strength if it's 46%?
This doesn't even pretend to be cask strength. This was this is part of that MacPhail's collection. I had a Bobbler 21 from the MacPhail's collection, which is one of the better whiskeys I've had.
Nice.
The Highland Park 27 so far, it ain't all that. I would love to send you a sample because I'd love to see what it does for you.
Isn't it crazy that some of these older independent
I was
bottles,
like 27-year-old Highland Park for €230. How is this possible? Oh, it's 43%. Oh, it's Gordon MacPhail. It's the Gordon MacPhail collection. That's not all that great. I still had to do it because I was like, come on, it's got it. You know,
yeah,
I'm a little disappointed.
And I can imagine. I mean, that's I think we both learned a lot throughout this whole process that ABV does make a huge difference with your, no matter what the age is. If you can get it at 46%, that is the sweet spot, man. If you can't get it at 46%, you might want to wait. It seems like
that's real, dude.
That's my new threshold is 46%. I hate to run off. I do have. Unfortunately, I've got some bug guys here to do some investigation.
It has been great to see you again, man. Check your email. I did send you something, and I
appreciate it.
We're in touch, and it's great to hang out with everybody randomly on I want to say Saturday, but it's a Monday.
Isn't it weird? It's like it feels definitely like a Saturday.
Be sure to check out tomorrow night, 8 p.m. on my
Yes.
channel, 8 p.m. Eastern time. I will be cracking open the brand new Lefroy cartridge. We'll check it out.
I'm gonna try to hit
Until
you
then,
up on that
Telex,
one.
man, stay safe, be well, brother.
I'm gonna try to meet up with you in that show if I possibly
That'd be
can. So
super
I'll be
cool,
surprised. All right, man. Thanks so much for hanging out. I mean, this is definitely a 5 out of 5 all
All
day,
day,
all
every
night.
day. All day, every day.
350, dude. If you can find it for 350, you better jump on that wagon. That's for sure.
Oh.
Now I'm kind of afraid to let anybody know because I might want to get a few more bottles.
We might have to go buy a couple more of these. Yeah, great dram. Awesome to see you, brother. Take good care.
You too, definitely. Anytime, and stay in touch, man. Definitely.
For sure. Be well.
I'll see you guys.